Hi everyone, welcome to Emma, a true infidelity story. I'm excited to share a new story with you. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over the park where Leo and I often picnic today. Though I was alone, save for Jack, our loyal cute dog, the warmth of the wine I sipped did little to ease the chill of loneliness that settled in. As Leo figure disappeared down the path, I watched families and couples, their laughter mingling with the rustle of leaves, and felt a pang of envy. But then something unexpected happened in my solitude. With the WHI loosening my inhibitions, I found myself in a moment of weakness, doing something I would regret forever. What did I do that could change everything? As Leo figure fades into the distance, I sit back on the blanket, feeling the warmth of the sun on my skin. Jack, sensing my slight disappointment, nudges his head under my hand, seeking comfort. I stroke his fur, letting my thoughts wander to the surprise Leo had promised. The park around me is alive with the sounds of laughter, the distant hum of city life, and the rustling of leaves in the gentle breeze. I watch as families and couples enjoy their own moments of peace, much like Leo and I usually do. But today, there's an undercurrent of anticipation, a thread of excitement that Leo's mysterious surprise has woven into the fabric of our usual routine. I reach into the picnic basket, pulling out a bottle of wine we had planned to share. Pouring myself a glass, I take a sip, the taste reminding me of countless other picnics, where Leo would tell me stories of his day, or we'd simply bask in the silence. Our hands intertwined today, however. I'm alone with my thoughts, the wine and Jack, who now lies beside me, his tail occasionally thumping against the ground. The minutes tick by, each one stretching longer than the last. I start to imagine what Leo could have planned. Perhaps it's a new piece of jewelry, knowing how much I adore the simple elegance of his gifts. Or maybe he's arranged for a special performance, something intimate, like a guitarist or a poet, to serenade us under the shade of the old oak tree we've claimed as our own. My mind drifts to more whimsical possibilities. Could he have hidden a treasure hunt around the park? Or maybe he's planned a secret rendezvous, a playful escape from our everyday life where we could indulge in a bit of playful intimacy, away from prying eyes. The thought makes me smile, my cheeks warming at the memory of our more spirited encounters. As I'm lost in these thoughts, Jack perks up, and he lifts his head, looking towards the path Leo had taken. I follow his gaze, my heart skipping a beat as I see Leo returning, his stride purposeful, but his expression still carrying the weight of whatever emergency had called him away. He reaches our spot, his eyes meeting mine with an apology before he even speaks. "I'm so sorry, Isabella. It was unavoidable," he says, his voice low, the strain evident. He sits beside me, pulling me into a quick, comforting embrace. "It's all right. Leo, you're here now." I reassure him, though part of me still wonders about the surprise. Leo takes a deep breath, his demeanor shifting as he reaches into his jacket pocket. I had hoped to do this differently, but he pulls out a small velvet box, and my breath catches Leo. "What?" My words trail off as he opens a box revealing not a ring, but a delicate pendant necklace, a small, intricately carved heart hanging from a fine chain. "I know it's not what you might have expected." He begins, his eyes searching mine for understanding. "But this heart, it's a symbol of our journey together, of the love that grows with each challenge we face. I wanted to give you something that represents our bond, something that you can carry with you always." The simplicity of a gesture, the depth of its meaning overwhelms me. I now tears picking at the corners of my eyes, not from sadness, but from the profound connection I feel with this man. "It's perfect, Leo, absolutely perfect." He helps me put on the necklace, his fingers brushing against my skin, sending a shiver down my spine. As he fastens the clasp, he whispers, "I promise next time no interruptions." We share a laugh, the tension easing, and settle back onto the blanket. Leo pours himself a glass of wine, and we call in glasses the sound like a seal on the moment. Jack, sensing the change in atmosphere, rests his head on my lap, his eyes drooping with contentment. The surprise might not have been what I imagined, but it was more than I could have hoped for. It was a reminder of why I fell in love with Leo, of the depth of our connection, and the beauty of our shared life. As we sit there enjoying the rest of our picnic, I realized that the true surprise was not in the gift itself, but in the reaffirmation of our love. Undeterred by the interruptions of life with Leo gone, I decide to make the most of our picnic setup. I pour myself another glass of wine, the sun warming my skin as I watch Jack chase after squirrels. The wine flows freely, and soon I find myself more relaxed than usual, the world around me softening at the edges. Jack returns, panting and happy, lying down beside me. His fur is soft under my touch, and I find myself talking to him, sharing my thoughts and dreams as if he were Leo. You know, Jack. I start, my voice slightly slurred. Leo and we've been through so much, and this necklace I touched the pendant. It's like a promise. Isn't it a promise of more moments like this? Just us and you? Of course, the wine continues to flow, and with each sip my inhibitions seem to slip away. I laugh at Jack's antics, feeling a strange sense of camaraderie with him. You're a good listener, you know that, I say, chuckling as he cocks his head to one side, as if understanding every word. As the minutes tick by, I start to feel the effects of the wine more intensely, my thoughts, and I find myself in a peculiar state of mind where boundaries seem less defined. The park, once bustling, now feels like a serene private haven for just Jack and me. The trees sway gently, their leaves whispering secrets, and the distant sounds of life become a mere backdrop to our quiet companionship. I lean back, resting on my elbows, the grass cool against my skin. What do you think, Jack? Should we explore a bit? Maybe find a new spot under the shade? I suggest, though I know he can't answer yet. His tail wages and I take it as a yes. We move, Jack leading the way, his nose to the ground, sniffing out new adventures. I follow, the wine bottle in one hand, my glass in the other, feeling the ground beneath my feet, as if it's part of a dance. We find a secluded spot away from the main path, where the sunlight filters through the leaves in a mosaic of light and shadow. Sitting down, I pour more wine, the bottle now half empty, to new beginnings. I toast to Jack, who looks at me with what I imagine as approval. The wine, the warmth, the solitude, it all conspires to create a bubble of tranquility around us. My mind wanders to Leo, to what he might be doing now, to how he'd react. Seeing me like this, so carefree, would he join me in this playful escape? Or would he be concerned about my state? The thought makes me giggle, imagining his face, that mix of amusement and concern. The afternoon drifts into evening, the sun beginning its descent, casting long shadows across the park. I lie back, watching the sky change colors from blue to hues of pink and orange. Jack, now lying beside me, seems to share in my reverie, his breathing slow and steady as I lay there, the wine's warmth spreading through me. I ponder the day's events, Leo's surprise, the necklace, the unexpected turn of our picnic. It's all so unexpected, and yet here I am, feeling closer to him than ever, even in his absence. I wonder what will happen when Leo returns. Will he find me here, slightly tipsy, talking to our cute dog? Will he laugh, or will he worry? The thought of his reaction, the anticipation of his return, adds another layer to my already complex feelings. The wine, the solitude, the anticipation. It all mixes into a potent concoction, making me feel both vulnerable and invincible. I close my eyes, letting the sounds of the park, the rustle of leaves, the distant laughter, and Jack's soft breathing lull me into a state of peaceful contemplation. In this moment, I realize that life with Leo isn't just about the planned surprises or the shared moments of joy, but also about these unexpected turns, these solitary interludes where I can be just me with our cute dog under the vast sky. And when Leo does return, how will my state of mind, this newfound freedom, affect the rest of our day? Will it bring us closer? Or will it introduce a new dynamic to our relationship? Only time will tell. But for now, I embrace this fleeting sense of freedom, knowing that soon Leo will be back and our story will continue to unfold. As the sun dips lower, casting the park in a golden glow, I find myself lost in the haze of the wine. The bottle, now empty, lies beside me, a silent testament to the afternoon's indulgence. Jack, ever loyal, senses my mood shift, his body pressing closer to mine, his warmth a comforting presence in the cooling air. In this inebriated state, my mind wanders to places it shouldn't. The line between right and wrong blurs, and in a moment of clouded judgment, I do something that I will later regret with every fiber of my being. I reach out my hand, trembling slightly, and in an act that crosses an unspeakable boundary. I engage with Jack in a way that feels both forbidden and surreal. It's a fleeting moment, one that I wish I could erase from existence. As soon as it happens, the realization hits me like a cold wave. When sobriety begins to creep back, I pull away my heart, pounding with a mix of horror and guilt. What have I done? The shame washes over me, a tide that threatens to drown me in its depths. I look at Jack, his eyes innocent and trusting, and I feel a pang of disgust at myself. How could I have let this happen? The weight of my action sits heavily on my C*******T, making it hard to breathe. I know I must keep the secret from Leo, but the burden of it feels like it might crush me. The thought of his reaction, his disappointment, his potential disgust. It all swirls in my mind, creating a storm of emotions. I glance around half expecting someone to have seen. But the park is quiet now, the families and couples having left for the day. I gather myself trying to regain some semblance of composure. Jack, oblivious to the turmoil within me, wages his tale, his trust in me unwavering. I stroke his fur, whispering apologies. He can't understand my voice choked with tears. I'm so sorry. Jack, I'm so sorry. The park, once a place of joy and relaxation, now feels like a scene of my personal downfall. I stand my legs unsteady and decide to leave. The walk home is a blur, my mind replaying the incident over and over each time, the horror intensifying at home. I avoid looking at myself in the mirror, fearing what I might see. The necklace Leo gave me feels like a mockery, a symbol of love tarnished by my actions. I take it off, placing it gently in its box, feeling as if I've betrayed not just Leo, but the very essence of our relationship. The night stretches on, sleep eluding me. I lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, the silence of the house, amplifying the noise of my guilt. Every whisper of the wind outside seems to echo my misdeed. I wonder if this secret will remain hidden, or if, like all secrets, it will find its way into the light. As dawn breaks, the first light of morning does little to dispel the darkness within me. I rise, the weight of the previous day still heavy on my shoulders. I prepare for Leo's return, knowing that every interaction will now be tinged with this hidden shame. How will I look him in the eye? How will I live with this? The doorbell rings, and my heart leaps into my throat. Leo is back. I take a deep breath, steeling myself. As I open the door, his smile is warm, his eyes filled with love. Unaware of the storm raging inside me, he steps in, pulling me into an embrace, and I feel the necklace against my skin, a reminder of what I must keep concealed. We talk about his trip, his voice filled with excitement, but all I can think about is the secret that now lies between us, like a chasm. I laugh at his stories, but it's hollow, my mind elsewhere, trapped in the memory of my lapse and judgment. Will Isabella's secret remain hidden, or will it come to light? The question haunts me as I navigate through the day, each moment with Leo, a reminder of what I've done. The guilt, the fear, the love, it all intertwines, creating a tapestry of emotions. I'm not sure how to untangle, but for now I must carry on with the hope that this moment of weakness remains just that, a moment buried deep within the folds of time. Leo returns, his face lit up with the excitement of his surprise. He's brought a small wrapped box, which he hands to me with a smile. Inside is a delicate necklace, a symbol of his love. My heart sinks as I accept it, the guilt gnawing at me like a relentless beast. We continue the picnic, but I'm distant, my mind replaying the events, my stomach churning with dread. Leo notices my mood, asking if everything is all right. I lie, saying I'm just tired, but the life feels like a betrayal. Another layer of deceit, added to the one already weighing on my soul. As we pack up, I notice Jack looking at me with what I imagine is confusion, or perhaps judgment. Every bark, every wag of his tail feels like an accusation, a reminder of my lapse in judgment. The park, once a sanctuary of our love, now feels like a stage where my darkest secret plays out in silence. Leo, ever attentive, tries to lighten the mood. You know, Isabella, I was thinking we could go to that new Italian place downtown next weekend. What do you think? His voice is hopeful, filled with plans for our future, oblivious to the storm within me. I nod, forcing a smile that sounds wonderful. I say the words tasting bitter on my tongue. How can I plan for future when I'm haunted by the past? The walk home is quiet. The silence between us filled with unspoken words. Leo's hand finds mine and I squeeze it, trying to anchor myself in the reality of our love. But my mind is elsewhere, trapped in a loop of guilt and shame. Once home, I excuse myself to freshen up, leaving Leo in the living room and the bathroom. I stare at my reflection, the necklace now a chain of guilt around my neck. I remove it, placing it back in its box, feeling as if I've betrayed not just Leo, but the very essence of our relationship. The evening unfolds with Leo recounting tales from his trip, his voice animated, his eyes bright with the thrill of adventure. I listen, my response is automatic, my laughter hollow. Every moment with him now feels like a performance where I must act the part of the loving partner, while concealing the darkness within. Dinner is a quiet affair. Leo senses something is off, his concern palpable. Are you sure you're okay, Isabella? You seem distant, he says, his voice laced with worry. I'm just processing everything. I reply, the truth hidden behind a veil of half-truths. How can I tell him that the woman he loves has crossed a line that should never have been crossed? Later, as we lie in bed, Leo pulls me close, his warmth, a stark contrast to the cold dread in my heart. I love you, Isabella. He whispers, his breath warm against my ear. I love you too. I respond, the words feeling like a promise. I'm not sure I can keep the secret sits between us. An invisible barrier growing with each passing second. The next day I find myself avoiding Leo gaze, the weight of my secret, making every interaction feel like a trope walk. We go about our routine, but my mind is elsewhere, replaying the moment, the horror, the guilt. Leo suggests a walk in the park, our park, and I agree, hoping the familiar setting might bring some solace. But as we walk, every tree, every bench, every path reminds me of that day. Jack, ever loyal, trots beside us, his presence a constant reminder. Leo stops by the old oak tree, our tree, and turns to me. You know, I've been thinking about our future, Isabella. Maybe it's time we start planning something more permanent, he says, his eyes searching mine for a reaction. The mention of our future sends a shiver down my spine. How can we plan a future when I've tainted our past? Let's just enjoy today, I managed to say, my voice barely above a whisper. As we walk back home, the sun setting behind us, I realize the depth of the chasm my secret has created. Leo, unaware, holds my hand, his touch, a reminder of what we have, what I might lose. The night stretches on sleep, eluding me once again. I lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, the silence of the house amplifying the noise of my guilt. Every CRE, every whisper of the wind outside seems to echo my misdeed. I wonder what will happen if Leo ever finds out. Will he understand? Can he forgive the thought of losing him, of our love? Being destroyed by my actions is unbearable. Yet the secret, like a cancer, grows, threatening to consume everything we've built. As dawn breaks, the first light of morning does little to dispel the darkness within me. I rise, the weight of the previous day still heavy on my shoulders. I prepare for another day with Leo, knowing that every interaction will now be tinged with this hidden shame. How will I look him in the eye? How will I live with this? The doorbell rings and my heart leaps into my throat. Leo is back. I take a deep breath, steeling myself. As I open the door, his smile is warm, his eyes filled with love. Unaware of the storm raging inside me, he steps in, pulling me into an embrace, and I feel the necklace against my skin. A reminder of what I must keep concealed. We talk about his trip, his voice filled with excitement, but all I can think about is the secret that now lies between us, like a chasm. I laugh at his stories, but it's hollow. My mind elsewhere, trapped in the memory of my lapse in judgment. Will Isabella's secret remain hidden? Or will it come to light? The question haunts me as I navigate through the day. Each moment with Leo, a reminder of what I've done, the guilt, the fear, the love. It all intertwines, creating a tapestry of emotions. I'm not sure how to untangle, but for now I must carry on with the hope that this moment of weakness remains just that, a moment buried deep within the folds of time. The days pass, and the secret fosters within me like a wound that refuses to heal. Leo, ever attentive, senses something is off, but attributes it to stress, or perhaps a minor disagreement we might have had. One evening, while we're watching TV, he tries to cheer me up, suggesting another picnic. The thought of returning to the scene of my indiscretion sends me into a panic. My heart races and my palms grow sweaty. I snap at him, my voice sharp with the strain of my secret. I don't want to go back there. Leo, hurt and confused, demands to know what's wrong. His eyes search mine, looking for the truth that I've been hiding. The pressure builds, and in a moment of weakness I blurt out, "I did something terrible when you left that day at the park." His face falls, his expression a mix of shock and pain. "What do you mean? Isabella, what did you do?" His voice is a whisper, barely audible over the sound of my own heartbeat. I'm on the brink of confessing everything, but the words catch in my throat. I look away, unable to meet his gaze. I can't. I stammer the weight of my guilt, making it hard to breathe. Leo reaches out his hand, gentle on my arm. "Please, Isabella, whatever it is we can face it together. Just tell me." The room feels like it's closing in the walls, pressing against me, urging me to speak. But the fear of losing him, of shattering the life we've built, keeps my lips sealed. I shake my head, tears streaming down my face. "I'm sorry. Leo, I'm so sorry." He pulls me into an embrace, his arms, a sanctuary I feel I no longer deserve. "We'll figure this out," he murmurs into my hair, but his voice lacks its usual certainty. The night stretches on with neither of us finding sleep. I lie awake, replaying the moment in the park, the horror of my actions, the betrayal of our trust. Leo breathing beside me is steady, but I know he's awake, his mind likely racing with scenarios far worse than the truth. Morning comes, and with it the decision to confront my guilt. I know I can't keep this from him forever. The secret has already begun to poison our relationship, and I can't let it continue over breakfast. I take a deep breath, the words forming in my mind. "Leo, there's something I need to tell you." I start, my voice trembling. He looks up from his coffee, his eyes filled with a mix of hope and dread. "Yes, Isabella." I pause, the weight of the confession heavy on my tongue. "When you left that day, I was alone with Jack and I had too much wine. I did something. I deeply regret, something that crossed a line I shouldn't have." Leo clatters against his plate. His face pales and his eyes widen in disbelief. "What are you saying, Isabella?" I swallow hard, the truth tasting bitter. I touched Jack inappropriately. It was a moment of weakness, a lapse in judgment. "I'm so ashamed, Leo. I didn't know how to tell you." Silence hangs between us, thick and suffocating. Leo stands abruptly, his chair scraping against the floor. He walks to the window, his back to me, his shoulders tense. "I need some time to think," he says, his voice low, almost a whisper. I know, understanding the gravity of what I've just admitted. The room feels colder, the distance between us now palpable. Leo leaves the house, and I'm left alone with my thoughts, the silence echoing the turmoil within me. Will he ever be able to look at me the same way? Can our love survive this betrayal? As the hours pass, I sit in the quiet, the house feeling empty without Leo presence. I wonder if I've just ended everything we've built together. The necklace he gave me, now back in its box, feels like a symbol of what I might have lost forever. The day drags on, each tick of the clock, a reminder of the uncertainty when Leo returns. His face is unreadable, his eyes distant. He sits beside me, but there's a new space between us, an invisible barrier that wasn't there before. "I love you, Isabella," he finally says, his voice strained. "But I need time to process this. I need to understand if I can move past this." I nod, tears welling up again. "I understand, Leo. I'll give you all the time you need. I hope you can forgive me." He takes my hand, his touch hesitant, as if unsure if he should. "I want to, but right now I don't know if I can." The night falls and we sit in silence, the weight of our shared history and the uncertainty of our future hanging between us. I realize that the truth might not set us free, but it has certainly changed everything. The question remains, will our love be strong enough to mend what I've broken, or will this secret be the end of us? I can't to myself to tell Leo the full extent of my actions. Instead, I muster the courage to tell him a half-truth, a version that feels less damning, less unforgivable. "Leo, when you left, I was overwhelmed by loneliness. I drank too much, and in a moment of foolishness I kissed another man in the park. It was a mistake, a fleeting moment of weakness." Leo face, already pale from my earlier confession, now turns a shade of gray, his eyes usually so full of warmth, now look at me with a mixture of hurt and confusion. You kiss someone else. His voice is a whisper. A storm brewing behind his calm facade. I know the lie. Tasting like ash in my mouth, yes, but it meant nothing. I was just lost in the moment. In the wine he takes a deep breath, his hands clenching into fists before he relaxes them, his gaze dropping to the floor. Two can understand loneliness. Isabella. But this he trails off, the pain evident in his voice. I'm so sorry. Leo. I promise it will never happen again. I was not in my right mind. I plead, my voice breaking. Leo looks up, his eyes searching mine for sincerity. After what feels like an eternity, he nods slowly. I believe you. Isabella, we've been through so much together. I forgive you, but we need to move past this. We need to heal. Relief floods through me, but it's tinged with the bitter taste of my concealed truth. Thank you, Leo. I vowed and never drink to excess again. To keep my life in check, and to cherish your love more than ever. We agree to move forward. But the shadow of my secret lingers, a dark cloud over our love. I know I must live with this burden, this silent penance for my actions. As for Jack, I can't look at him the same way. Every time I see him, I'm reminded of that day of my lapse in judgment. I avoid being alone with him, the guilt too heavy to bear. Over time we decide it's best for him to find a new home. One where he can be with a family that doesn't carry the weight of my mistake. It's a painful decision, but necessary for my peace of mind, and for Leo trust in our relationship. The picnic spot, once our sanctuary now, becomes a place of reflection rather than joy. It's a reminder of the day my life could have unraveled. But through it all, Leo love, and my resolve to be better keep us together. It's a testament to the complexities of human nature, to the depth of forgiveness, and to the strength of our bond. Did Isabella make the right choice by not revealing the full truth? Or will this secret eventually tear them apart? Only time will tell. But for now I hold on to Leo's hand, feeling the warmth of his love. And I promise myself to be the partner he deserves, to keep our love pure and untainted by my past mistakes. We walk forward into the future with the hope that our love can withstand the storms of our secrets, that it can heal and grow stronger, even in the face of the darkest truths. If you feel that this story is meaningful and brings useful lessons, please like and subscribe to the channel to support me. Thanks.